There are many positive effects of the project developed by Kauto through No More Organic Waste. But what we feel is the core characteristic which determines the added value which now provides is that now has been able to act as a, let's say, a distribution platform in itself. What I mean is that this distribution platform collects materials and food from the supermarkets, which otherwise would have been treated as waste. It collects this food and brings it to one place, and then it is able to distribute it to the various associations which prepare meals for those people who are in need of a proper food and meals. So this is the center point. We have a greater variety of ingredients which feed into the meals, and that is the principal added value which this project offers as compared to the many projects which in these last few years have been developed in Italy and in Europe.
A social cooperative based in Brescia recovers and transforms discarded food from supermarkets that otherwise would be trashed into resourceful food for the poorest among us. Thanks to the project Kauto, every year 1,300 tons of vegetables, bread and dairy products are thus recovered. From 9 in the morning, Kauto Social Cooperative of Brescia is very active, organizing the supply chain, from initial recovery to final distribution to beneficiaries. Trucks filled with discarded goods arrive from the supermarkets containing the fruits and vegetables, bread and dairy products that are no longer sold but that are still edible or usable.
Among all the food that reaches the cooperative from supermarkets, almost nothing ends up in the trash. Notably, 85% is recovered and distributed for human use, 12% for animals, 2% becomes compost, the rest that cannot be separated is trashed.
A model of social entrepreneurship recognized by the European Commission through the project Now that transforms waste into resources. 3,000 unprivileged people from disadvantaged communities benefit from the food recovered by Kauto and distributed by local organizations such as Caritas. The project Now, No More Organic Waste, stems from Kauto's experience spread over the last 15 years, which consists in recovering foodstuff from large retail chains and supermarkets. Back in 1995, Kauto started precisely from simply collecting fruits and vegetables from the city markets. Step by step, it then developed efficiently, eventually becoming an effective service that has a significant social impact. Just try to imagine big pallets full of fruits and vegetables that supermarkets have discarded. These are nonetheless still edible and can be transformed. The idea is double-folded: preventing squandering and waste by transforming foodstuff into a resource. Everything that is still be good can be consumed. Food can be eaten or used by local farmers to breed animals. During the last years, in cooperation with experts, consultants, and other interested stakeholders, Kauto tried to better understand and analyze how to expand and promote food recovery towards other areas and intervene in other situations. In this optic, agreements with local municipalities, as well as private food distributors, were signed, thus triggering and stimulating the active collaboration of big donors, such as large-scale supermarkets. food is collected in the morning in order to respect the chain of cold and thus ensure that it arrives refrigerated within the first hours of the afternoon from 12 to 14. The project's objectives and main results wouldn't be possible without the participation of some key stakeholders, large-scale supermarkets, municipalities, as well as all the volunteers recovering and selecting the food. Altogether, they make it possible to recover, reuse and consume it. The project grew consistently, and today there are about 26 sales points involved, covering more than 5,000 beneficiaries who receive food distributions. It has been a great and successful experience, which thrilled people and promoted community participation and mobilization. Furthermore, lessons learned and good practices were recorded in order to keep alive and reproduce the experience in the future.
Refrigerated vans arrive and our volunteers unload them and store all the baskets containing the food, fruits and vegetables on one side and the dairy products on the other. These baskets contain also dried stuffs. What does that mean? Well, basically it means broken packages. Like broken grissini and these kind of things, which will probably end in the trash, unless the volunteers recover them and then organize the distribution among vulnerable people. Lemons represent another good example of how this system works. One rotten lemon might infect all the other lemons in the same bag. We open the bag and recover all the lemons that are still good, but that were supposed to be trash. This is a good practice preventing from wasting precious food. Bread represents another example of precious food that, because daily fresh, eventually ends up being as discarded every day. Then we recover it and save it from the trash for those people who are hungry. Bread is an essential product. Eventually, the cycle ends up in the farms, where farmers can breed animals. And this is pretty much the conclusive step of any good that we recover.
So, as Edizione Ambiente, we were first interested in a project developed by Cauto, the Now project, because of its environmental added value, for its environmental implications. But as we worked with Cauto and on the Now project, No More Organic Waste, we found out that not only did it offer some environmental advantages, but most significantly, it was participating in giving meals, proper meals to people who are in need. This point, at a time in which the economic crisis is particularly severe, becomes an essential one. The project can give proper meals to people who are in need, and we're able to maintain the dignity that these people were in the process of losing because they could not access proper meals.
Milano, March 2012. Do the right thing. As an example, imagine that what we have on the table represents 100% of 1 year Italian food production. Here, we have a bruised apple. In agriculture, we do not even pick it. Hence, we have the first waste, production and transformation of flowers into broken grissini. At Cauto, we know that very well. They're given to us for free. Hence, we have the second waste. Let's talk about grocery stores, supermarkets and produce markets. Here, we have a shortly expiring yogurt. It will go in the bin. Third waste, and it is not a breadcrumb. We bought this salad in a bag, some it's left over, it may get bad, hence we throw it away as well. Another waste. Some statistics calculate that around 30 to 40% of yearly food production goes in the bin. Around 150 kilograms per person gets wasted per year. More or less, 12 billion euros are thrown away. Considering that food production impacts for around 70% of our natural resources, like land, water and energy consumption, Since the largest contributor to Earth global warming is agriculture, if we waste 30 to 40% of our food production, it means that our organic waste is impacting heavily on Earth consumption and global warming. Poverty. In Italy, statistics shows that 1 million families, equating to 3 million people, live with less than 300 euro per family per month. 7 million people with the less than 700 euros per people per month. We spend over 5 billion euros per year to support such families. Talking about large organized distribution. In Italy, supermarkets and hypermarkets, which constitute about 2% in terms of points of sales, they sell around 70% of all food sold in the country. LOD, large organized distribution. Why organized? In Italy, the first 10 players have around 75% of the total market share, since they are organized groups. Hence, we call them such way large organized distribution. Usually, their stores range from 400 square meters of sales area to 10,000 meters and more. Obviously, since they sell, they create waste. Usually, we do not visit their stores' warehouses. We, at Cauto, do know such areas very well. What constitutes the solid waste of supermarkets? 60% is cardboard packaging. Easy. The remaining 40%, it's mixed waste that in some cases do not get separated for recycling. It is composed of mixed packaging containing plastic, wood, cellophane. It could be recycled if separated, but in some cases it does not.
25% of waste in supermarkets is represented by the organic fraction. Food in general, like stale bread, bruised fruits and vegetables. Then we have 5% of solid waste, which is dirt, spoil, that is hard to differentiate. Usually, even if we differentiate the 40% of mixed waste, we'll still end up with 25% of organic fraction. A new great awareness around organic and food waste is finally arising, and not only reference with large organized distribution. The EU Parliament, the European Community, has decided 2014 will be the year of awareness on food waste. The goal is fixed to cut at least in half such waste by 2015. Finally, such goal set by the European Community matches our scope at Cauto. We are here to present to the European Community what we did and what we do to see if the interest is common. As a result, we came up with the acronym NOW. Now stands for No More Organic Waste. Never, ever. We must stop throwing away organic produce. Not at home, not at our schools, and not at the supermarkets, and not even on the fields of agriculture. Basta, that's it. No more.
Waste minimization management and related activities are pillars concept of our organization at Auchan. Those represent our corporate sustainability pillars. Specifically, we speak of management to minimize waste of environmental resources, energy and water, that ultimately lead to optimization of economic resources to provide more convenient shopping at our stores, together with sustaining our social responsibility donations program. Historically, in the Brescia province, we collaborate with Cauto, a central player of local food devolution. With and through Cauto, we actively participated to the Now project, generating great interest and satisfaction. This project, Project Now, is a keystone in our social responsibility effort to raise awareness and a culture of waste reduction in our communities and schools, to promote involvement in our young students and ultimately our citizens, to collaborate with key players like Kauto ultimately creates great value to us and, more importantly, in our communities. Raising awareness in the customers that visit daily our stores, it's a key element of our social responsibility. Such effort creates a more sustainable culture and promotes virtuous behavior in the entire chain of food management, at home with our friend, at school and people's social activities. The scope of Project Now was to simplify the project topic's understanding, specifically to learn what organic waste is, how to properly dispose it and create value from the organic fraction. During our classes, to the students was given the opportunity, through educational games and group activities, to experience the Project Now's topics. The specific issue of the organic waste, its management, subsequently of compost, how to obtain a better compost, and, more importantly, how to obtain the least desirable amount of organic waste. For our schools, we have specifically created a game, the Now game, which objective is for students to learn the essential characteristics of fruits and vegetables before they become waste. The Now game is a card-based game, each one depicting fruits and vegetables, which scope of each team is to discover the image depicted on the card chosen by the other team.
The project Now, No More Organic Waste, is a very significant project by itself, but particularly because it is part of a wider trend which is bringing to a significant change in the way we treat our wastes. It is, in fact, showing the path towards something which has been now indicated by the European Union as the way forward. That is, the coming of the circular economy, of a zero waste economy. That is our objective. That is where we need to go. And now is a first step in this direction. In that sense, the innovative content of Now is significant, very significant by itself, but it is all the more so because it indicates the way we will be following in the next few years, probably for quite a while, towards an economy which produces zero wastes.